Yellow Rabbit Film Study presents Mulholland Drive, at least part of it. No context spoilers, then a lot of spoilers, and I'll assume you've seen the movie, but honestly, this time it doesn't really matter for the part that we're going to talk about. That'll make sense later. That'll make sense later. And unfortunately, that will make sense later. Okay, we are going to look at this whole movie for a couple reasons. One, it's kind of long. It was almost a TV show, and knowing that going in, you can kind of tell. Two, there's a bunch of wacky one-off characters that show up just for certain parts. And three, the individual scenes are just as powerful as the whole movie, so I figured I'd take a look at one. The first time I saw this movie, I was like, I don't get it. Then the second time, I think I got parts of it. And in the most recent time, I think I was making more of it than it was before, and I think I get it. Or at least parts of it. There are so many great scenes in this movie. Diner, cowboy, that super intense audition acting in a way that is upsetting and funny and scary and powerful and just a whole mess of emotions all at the same time. But the best place to start is at the beginning. We're going to look at this intro, and you need to see it so I can talk about it. Here it is. This intro is pretty unique, but I think it does a great job encompassing what dreams actually feel like. Kind of a mismatched mix of different things together, all working together, but all not working together. There's harmony, but there's dissonance. There's people, maybe people we recognize, but maybe they're just people. There's form, there's movement. It feels real, but we also know that something like this can't be real. But if it feels real, does that make it real? I don't know. It's very dreamlike. And it just keeps going like this. The music's repetitive. And the movements are, but also they aren't. If this is a loop, you certainly couldn't tell. I mean, it seems like there's enough different stuff going on to be distracted. And then we start to come into focus and get a view of ourselves. And I think that's why it's a good intro. I mean, it shows us who we are and how we operate without really making sense. And in some ways, that lack of sense makes the most sense. So what's the moral of this story? I mean, we were just looking at an intro. There's no words. There's a whole crazy plot to this movie that we didn't even touch. We'll maybe go over that some other time. But the moral of this story, and I don't do this often, maybe I should start, but here's a quote that I think sums it up pretty well. Film is dream. Film is music. No art passes our conscious in the way film does, and goes directly to our feelings, deep down in the dark rooms of our souls. Thanks for watching Yellow Rabbit Film Study.